for student engagement for the Jim Moran School of Entrepreneurship. So Kenzie Fitzpatrick is the person that just turned the camera on, and she's the coordinator for the center, and you will get a lot of emails from her throughout the competition, and she's the one that really runs things and keeps on top of things and keeps track of things. So between the two of us, we are here to help you be successful in this. And did anybody participate in it last year, in the InNOLEvation Challenge? So we got, well, and you guys were finalists in the STEM vets. So good. Welcome back. So we've got one veteran here. But so I'm going to talk about what it is and how you participate and why you want to participate and you know, forming teams and all kinds of things about how you can be involved. And just so you know, for logistics for this week we have an information session today, and we're doing the same exact thing tomorrow and we try with our workshops to move things around so that students that have classes on Wednesday afternoon don't always have to miss everything. So as the workshops come up, you'll see the schedule. Some of them are on Wednesdays at this time at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and other ones are on Friday at noon to try to help make sure that people get opportunities to come. And then we also are videoing them, and they will be on our website. So if you have to miss one, you can go to the website and see what you missed. So what the InNOLEvation Challenge is a business model competition. And so by business model, we mean, does anybody know what this book is? Have you seen this in any of your classes, or if you take entrepreneurship classes, a lot of times you see it. So it's just kind of a different structure. Instead of a long business plan, the business model uses the business model canvas, it's called, but it's a simplified way to structure your business ideas with your value proposition and finding out who your customers are. And so this workshop, I won't go into it in depth a lot, other than to let you know that I have extra copies of these books in my office, which is in the Rosetta Business Building, room 117. The library has them. You don't have to get this book, but if you don't know anything about the business model canvas or business model, it might help you to serve as a reference, or you can just go to strategizer.com, and that's a website that has videos, and you can download copies of the canvas. So there's lots of resources out there, and I'll be repeating all this, but so the competition, as you go through it, you'll be filling out different sections of what would be in a business model canvas about your idea. So that's why we say it uses lean startup methods, and what that means is this is a method of starting a business that several years ago people in the tech industry realized rather than doing a full-blown business plan and then going out to see if there were customers or anybody wanted it, it kind of did things backwards and started to look at, are there customers, should we even bother to do a business plan? And they started what's called lean startup methods, which is not starting with a whole lot of money, starting with sort of a minimal viable product, a test, and putting it out there, finding out more about it, testing what you think would happen, and then making changes. So pivots is a term you hear a lot in the lean startup stuff. So, and our main goal in this competition is so that it's a valuable learning experience. So we want you to win because there's prizes and there's money involved, but obviously we are at a university, and our main purpose is to help you learn how to do this, to get comfortable pitching and presenting, to learn how to, you know, what it is about starting a business and teaching you the different things you need, skills you need to have. So there's a lot of workshops along the way, and we've got subject matter experts, people coming in. So it's not going to be me doing all the workshops. It's going to be other faculty. It's going to be in the financial workshop. It'll be David White from Carr, Riggs & Ingram, which is an accounting firm in town, and they mentor a lot of our student businesses, and you know, different subject matter experts in different areas from the community and from other faculty. So they're not like typical classes. They're very applied, hands-on workshops to help you identify what it is you need to know about the business and your idea, and so that you can develop it, and then at the end of it, in March, you can present it to a panel of judges. And so every year we have 7 judges that are business people. They've started businesses, Roberto Torres is one. He's an FSU grad who now lives in Tampa, and he started a company called Black and Denim, which is a very successful apparel manufacturing company that's made in the USA. And then he started Blind Tiger Cafes, and those are growing business. So he's an interesting person if you want to check him out on Facebook or Twitter. But he comes and is a judge, and we have all kinds of people like that because they love to come back and see what students are doing and see their businesses. So we put the competition on, and we structure it, but we have other people come do the workshops and serve as judges and things like that. So that's what it is, the prizes, $10,000. Mark K. Scott is a local entrepreneur who supports us by giving $10,000 every year to the overall winner. And then we have other prizes, so $4,000 in each of these other areas. So the Jim Moran Challenge Social Venture Award is for the best social venture. We have Spirit of Entrepreneurship, Most Viable, Most Scalable, Most Innovative. And then if you're a finalist but you didn't win one of the other awards, you get at least $500. So that's for the 7 finalists that present on March 3rd. We'll get it, the least that you'll get would be $500. And then the top winners get to go on and be part of Domi Ventures. Domi Station is the local incubator in the community. And then the Entrepreneurial Excellence Program, which is put on. So they sponsor us by letting our students be part of those activities. So this is a picture of last year's winner. Tucker Russ is an engineering major, and he had a product that helped people like at FSU facilities. Say a street light goes out on campus somewhere, it relays information back to the facility manager to let them know the light is out. So in his case, an engineering student. They're not always, 2 years ago it was Divvy Up Socks. Are any of y'all familiar with Divvy Up, or have you ever heard of Divvy Up? Is a local company, and they still are in Tallahassee. And they started selling socks as part of their business they did in an entrepreneurship class. But they went out and they talked to the local homeless shelter and found out that the need that they had was for clean socks. So what Divvy Up does is for every sock that they sell, and they sell like, fashion, cool looking socks, and then they donate a pair to the homeless shelter. So kind of like Tom's Shoes type model. And they've been doing that now, and they're still here and working on their company, and have decided to stay in Tallahassee. So there's all different kinds of businesses win. You'll see that a couple of slides ago, Hannah King is a social venture, and she sells products that are made in her home country of Guatemala. She's from Guatemala, and she helps the artisans improve their skills and get better profits for their businesses by buying their products and selling them here. And she's got a great website that she's created. So her company's called Woven Ventures. So there are a lot of different kinds of companies that compete, students that compete. These eligibility guidelines, all this is on our website, which I will show you when I'm through with this presentation. So we don't want more than 5 degree-seeking students or five people on a team. But to be on a team, at least 51% of the people on the team need to be FSU students. So degree-seeking students enrolled at least 6 credit hours. So what that means is you can have somebody else on your team who's not a student, but they can help you with it and do everything, but they can't do the presenting. And you as a student needs to have at least 51% of like the ownership and control of your business. So that, because this is a competition for FSU students. So we want to make sure that the students are the ones that benefit from this. It needs to be original work, so you can't just take something that somebody else did somewhere else and copy it here and not have a lot of revenue before September 1st. So we don't really want somebody that's already built a company and their last year got $300,000 in revenue or something come in, and because that wouldn't be fair to other students that are just really in more startup mode. This is a more for startup type companies. So there's more eligibility details on the website. So this is the business model canvas that I mentioned, and these slides are up there. This kind of goes into what's in the different sections, so this will be on the website, and we'll be talking a little bit more about this and some of the other workshops too. But this is sort of central to the theme of this whole competition. So this is the process. So in stage 1, you're going to develop a value proposition. Anybody know what a value proposition is? In your classes talk about what's a value proposition? Anyone want to take a guess? I'm going to make somebody say something here. Go.
It's the benefit you're offering to your customer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what is it you have? What is it that you have to offer? Why would somebody pay you anything for what you have? So it's your benefit. So what kind of value? If it's a problem that is out there, what problem are you trying to solve? Or a need that you're filling? It may just be a need that this part of town doesn't have enough coffee shops. So I'm filling a need for people to be able to go to a coffee shop closer to home. So what is it that you're offering as your value proposition? And that's kind of like your central to your business. And that's what's in the middle, excuse me, of the business model canvas. And that's your idea. So you want to summarize this and submit it by October 27th is the stage 1 deadline. And so by midnight, the website where Kinsey will show you how to apply cuts off at midnight on the 27th. But that doesn't mean everything has to be done by then. All you have to do by then is apply and give a general idea of what your value proposition is. You might go out then and talk to people and find out that's a really terrible idea. I shouldn't do this. So you can make changes. You can make changes up until January to your idea, and you can add people to your team until January. So October 27th is just the date to say, hey, I want to participate in this competition, and you don't have to have a whole lot more information than that. You put in a value proposition, but like I say, that is something that can change once you find out more information or do some more research and discover whether or not it's really a good idea to pursue. So then stage 2, you're going to look at some of these blocks that are in the business model canvas, but these are things like, who is your customer and what do they want? So doing research. So either research as in talking to people, interviewing people, doing surveys, going out and watching, how many people go into a coffee shop or how many people, I have one of the faculty members here used to do product development for CVS. And he would go stand in Walgreens and watch how long people stood in the mouthwash aisle and how they figured out which product they wanted to buy. So sometimes research can kind of carry over into almost like stalking behavior, but it's observing and seeing how consumers behave, how people show what they want, how many people. All right, there's a sign-in sheet in the back if you don't mind signing in, please. So how do they want it? And then part of it is how are they going to get it from you? Are you going to be selling on the website, or are you going to have a store, or are you going to have a table at Market Wednesdays? So, and what do you need to get started? How much money would it take? What kinds of resources, partners? Just sort of start developing your ideas or hypotheses about these different things. And hypotheses is the language they use in business model generation because it's sort of taking scientific methods and applying them to business. But basically that's just those are your guesses about the way things are. And then when you go out and do some more research or find out more information, then you find out if those guesses were right or you might need to change them. So that gets submitted in stage 2 on January 16th. And that's going to have all the sections of the canvas except for the cost and revenue, which are in the bottom of the canvas. That part you can figure out in January, so you don't need to worry about that right up at first. And this is also the last time you can drop or add team members of that January 16th submission. So after that round, the judges, there's different set of judges for each of these rounds, and they will narrow this down to 15 teams after that January 16th submission. So then that goes to stage 3. So that gives you time to go out and test your ideas, test your guesses, see if they're right. You can change those things, pivot, reset your hypotheses, come up with some new guesses, and test them again. So the point is that you really done some homework, done some research to find out about your ideas and if these are good ideas or if you need to make changes about what kind of value you're delivering, if customers are interested in being satisfied. So you kind of summarize all the work that you've done in that for the stage 3 submission. And that's done on February 8th. And that will include your entire business model canvas. So we will have a workshop in January to help know how to do the costs and the revenue parts, because that is included in the final submission. You'll have the financial information along with all the other information. So then, after that, the semifinals will take place on February 9th, and there will be judges there, a panel of judges there, and then the top, it says 8 finalists, but I think it's 7 finalists.
I think it's 8 because of the awards, but
will be announced on February 12th. It'll be 7 or 8. By then we'll figure it out. So then that top group will be announced by February 12th. And then you will go on to the finals. So the 3 key steps that you want to do to be successful in this is identify and track your assumptions within the business model canvas. So on this canvas that, like I say, there's a picture of it in the presentation or it's available on the website, but you want to kind of have your ideas about all that. So you've identified it, tracking it, testing it, going out and talking to people, doing some market research. If you want to just do research, you'd be amazed that you can find out if you're talking about opening a store somewhere in Tallahassee and you want to know what area, 5 square mile area, has the highest income with people that are in your target market group. There's a man at the library named Trip Wyckoff, and he's going to love me because I'm going to send everybody there. But he loves to help you know what databases to use. I mean, there's a database that as all of you all, as FSU students, you have access to tens of thousands of dollars worth of databases that you can go in, and one of them is called Demographics Now, for instance, and you can put your home address in, and it'll tell you the average income in a 1 mile radius of where you live. I mean, or it'll say how many cars go through a intersection, so you know where to put a good Burger King or something. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of information. So aside from doing interviews or surveys, you can do that kind of research too. And if you have that included in your presentation, then the judges who are sitting there, who are actual people that have started businesses, will be very impressed that you know these statistics and facts and figures and have really figured out this is the right place to do this kind of business. So that's a lot of that kind of stuff. Test your assumptions is meaning do some research, primary research, secondary research, and find out information. And then if you have sort of a prototype or a mock-up or something of your product, and you can get feedback or testimonials to demonstrate that you gain market traction using feedback from actual customers. I mean, sometimes people have developed something and actually made some sales, or they may have, letters from somebody saying, I think this is great. If it's created, I will buy 100 of them or something. So any kind of proof that you have a neat idea that somebody would actually want to buy is a very strong thing to add to your presentation. So,
okay, so as you saw the link that was on the PowerPoint, jimmoranschool.fsu.edu, everything that you're looking for what we do outside the classroom is going to be under the Center for Student Engagement tab. So if you get lost, just look for that. And here on the left side is all the important website links. On all of them, I put this handy little button called Apply Now. When you click that, you actually log in with your FSU ID and password. So you don't have to create a new account or anything. You don't have to remember any new passwords. It's right there, and you just click on that.
you need to put your at FSU or
change our passwords now every so often. So I haven't submitted anything yet. You hit get started. And now you see submission 1 is already in there. The deadline is October 27th. This is on Eastern time, so if you go home, if you're in Central time, just notice the time difference. Until that incomplete changes to green, you have not filled out the application. This one really takes like 5 minutes to complete, and then you don't have to have all your team members for them. That's not until January. So if it's just you right now, that works. So as soon as you hit start, you can come back and edit this later. So if you hit start, that's okay. It saves it for you. And as soon as you submit, this will be green, and then I'll see it on the back end. Doesn't hurt, shoot me an email just in case if you're worried about that. And then as you go through this, once that submission 1 closes, submission 2 will show up. So I just make it where the next day that's live, and that'll be due in January. So each time you see it, just make sure those incompletes turn to green so you don't miss deadlines. And then if you go back to the website again, keep checking the timeline. So if you don't get the emails or you're just not good with reminders, everything's in here. The workshops, the topic, the presenters, and something else that's really important. On the left, under resources, is going to be where we're going to put the presentations from today. We'll put the video feed up. We'll attach the PowerPoint presentation. If a speaker has like a flyer or anything important, we'll post the PDF on there. There's also some really interesting worksheets on here you can go through. The business model canvas is on here. There's some
there's
videos.
about them.
So if you have any questions, there's some questions that we get. You know, honestly, every year we get a new question that we've never had before. Wendy's the dictator of, what's yes, what's no. Ask your questions though. If you're afraid or you're not sure, definitely come talk to us. And so just keep that application link live, because that's not just the application link, that will be submission 2, 3, 4, everything. So.
And so what questions do you have? Everybody knows everything about everything? Yes.
Is the only presentation March 2nd, or do you present for each stage?
Just the semifinals and the finals.
Okay.
So February
9th.
9th and March 2nd.
So we'll have an effective pitches and presentations workshop in January on the 24th, and that'll teach you how to pitch, what to put in your slide deck, and then on the 8th will be the semifinal, or the 9th will be the semifinal pitch. So it'll be your first one, and then you can refine it later if you get into the finals.
Regarding the prize money, I'm not sure how that works. I saw that there's different categories for 4,000, and then you get an additional 6,000 if you're the top to get to the 10,000 grand prize. Is that how that
So
math
if you're
works?
at the top, you get a total of 10. Yes.
I know I came in late, but how long will the presentations be?
They're like 7 minutes, typically 7 minutes, and then 5 Q&A or.
For the semifinals, the Q&A is a little bit shorter because we have more teams, so it's like a 3 to 5 minute Q&A. But then the final pitch is still 7 minutes, but a 13-minute Q&A since there's only 8 teams.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know that on the application, when I took a look at it, it asked if the business was established or what
Right.
form of ownership it was.
Right.
What if that changes? If we apply and then it's now an LLC or any changes like that? If we make progress with it after we apply?
That's perfectly
That's-
fine.
yeah.
Just let us
That's good.
know. Or
Or should we?
if you win prize money, there's the Requesting Your Innovation Challenge prize, so we'll just make it out to whatever the company is at that
Right,
point
right.
in time. Yeah, and if it changes, that's okay. We just
Okay.
need the documents and a W-9.
So if you win, you need to form some kind of legal entity.
Right.
We can't pay a student, we have to pay a company. And that's an FSU rule, so.
And is that well, obviously it's okay to make progress on your business, but I'm asking more for the application, if it's an idea now and then a month from now it's an LLC, we just let you guys know that.
Yeah, and in the submission in January, it'll ask the same thing, what you
Okay.
are, if you've established by then or not. As long as it's done, if you win,
Right.
but you're fine if you're still not established up to that
Okay.
point.
Yeah, change is actually good,
Yeah.
because then we know you're learning something,
Right.
doing something.
It's a good question. We've never gotten that one.
Yeah. Any other questions? So, you know where to find us if you need us?
Be sure to sign in the back if you want emails.
Kenzie's cards are back there. Right.
Yes, Kinsey and Wendy's cards are back there. And if you guys want to go ahead and like maybe pitch or tell each other, like just stand up, tell us what you're interested in, what your major is. If you're looking for teams, now's the time to find them too. I mean, it's kind of just like a free for all.
I think he wants to stand up and pitch.
Got it.
See
All
ya.
right, good.
All right. I'm Peyton. I'm a freshman looking to get into the entrepreneurship school. I have a couple ideas, mostly none are product based except one. I thought about like Keurig cups. You could make a baby formula one for moms because, like, instead of them having to wake up and heat up their baby formula and everything, they could do the little 30-second click in your Keurig, and you got it. And then other ones are more larger business ideas, not necessarily products. But I don't have a team currently. Looking for a team to help, and I'm not committed to any ideas because I don't have any business. So that's me. I'm Peyton.
Great. Thank you. And also come to CEO next Tuesday night. If you're
Yes.
available at 5:30. So,
Anybody else have an idea?
I love your idea. Have the daughter having a baby in February. Maybe you should have it done by then.
I'm Shannon, I'm a software engineering, computer science major. I do everything from mobile development to web development to original, whatever you want to do. I have a few ideas for apps and companies, but I'm not committed to one yet, so if you guys have any ideas or anything, you guys can come to me and ask questions. I'll be happy to answer.
You're like gold.
I'm Kurt. I met Shannon first, and you all stay away from her. I'm looking to develop a mobile app called The App Adventure Planning Professional. I'll give you a quick pitch. If you want to go on a date, you pick a budget, say $100. That's the date is your adventure, and then you select different activities, so dinner, dessert, movies, and it aligns based on different partner businesses to give you a nice itinerary with a GPS that you can share with your date or not, or your friends or whatever event. And I'm looking for developers.
Anybody else want to stand up?
Now's the time.
You're not required to, so, okay. Any other questions? Okay, well, if you know anybody else interested, then tell them to come tomorrow at 3 o'clock and we'll be doing the same thing again. Otherwise, we hope to see you all at the first workshop, September
27th, next week.
Thank you. The 8 finalists have a workshop in January for the revenue streams and cost structures. And you're going to prepare and submit a 1-page summary of the business that's sent to the judges for the final presentations. And so that is due February 27th. It's like an executive summary of your business. It's just to put everything together in a short summary so that before the finals, the judges get a chance to see what you've done. And then on March 2nd is where you present to judges. And there's a lot of pictures on our website of that competition if you want to see it. In the past, it's been in the Starry Conference Room, but this year, for the first time, it will be held in the new Jim Moran building. So the school will be able to have events in the Jim Moran building, which will be downtown, is on Monroe Street, just down the street from the Capitol. It's 111 South Monroe, so I don't know if any of y'all ever drive there. It's right near Park. And it's been under renovation for a long time. There's a brand new building being built on the corner, and that gentleman that built that gave us the property next to it in the building, and so we will be moving in there in January. So for one of the first big events in there is going to be our InNOLEvation Challenge finals, so we're pretty excited about that. So these are the judging criteria, and don't worry about writing all this stuff right down because it's on our website as well as this presentation's on our website. But these are the things, so the judges are going to have a rubric and scoring on all these different areas. And this is what they're going to be looking for. And they also want to know how surprise money helped, because that wasn't on their questions last year, and the judges wanted to know that. So that was typically something they would ask. So after you do your presentation, there is a question and answer time from the judges, and what they like to know is, if you win, what would you do with $10,000? And the right answer is not, I'm going to go to the Bahamas and have a hell of a party. So it might be what you're thinking, but that's not what they want to hear. So think about that and how you would actually do that to further develop or scale your business. And so if you're a social venture, there's some specific questions for social ventures, and social venture being that solving the problem is the primary purpose of starting your business. So a lot of companies that are, regular companies aren't going to do harm. Nobody's going to say, yeah, I want to go out and do harm or hurt the environment. But the real purpose of the company isn't to solve a social problem. But a social venture is like STEM Vets is a social venture, right? Do you want to say what STEM Vets does? Not mean to keep putting you on the spot, but
No,
I am.
it's fine. I've practiced this many times. STEM Veterans is a nonprofit. It's now a 501c3. So we get to give, we don't give, but people get tax credit for donated. STEM Veterans networks veterans and connect them with opportunities and jobs and internships. So essentially, large companies have a need for three things: qualified individuals in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, individuals that could have leadership skills, and people that could rapidly get a security clearance if the large company is a defense contractor. If you happen to be a veteran in STEM, then you alleviate those issues. There's a lot of companies that recruit veterans, but no one has a specific target and niche market of STEM, veterans in STEM. So we connect the dots of veterans in STEM with employers that are looking for specific skills. And we do that in two ways. One is there's a nonprofit, STEM Veterans USA Inc. And two, and more critical, which is a unique business model, there's STEM Veterans USA, the RSO at FSU, and now at Rutgers University. So we get to recruit veterans in STEM that are students through the RSO, and which is valuable to companies because they get to fill their internships and their hiring needs with current students, and funnel those students to a job board, which is STEM Veterans USA, the nonprofit. So around there, but it's not just for defense contractors. STEM is critical. There's a large STEM push from the White House down. So we're serving a critical market.
So they started that company with that to solve a purpose and to serve a need. And a social venture can be either for profit or nonprofit. Like their model is nonprofit, being that way you can get tax deductible donations, you're eligible to apply for grants and things like that. A social venture that's for profit would be like Divvy Up Socks. They were formed really with their purpose is to provide socks to the homeless, and they're doing it through the vehicle of selling the other socks, but they are a for-profit company. So a social venture can either be for-profit or nonprofit, but the main purpose of starting the company is to solve a social need. So there is, a specific prize for social ventures, and so that's why they have a separate character. What's the word I'm looking for?
Category.
Category, thank you for that. But even if you're not purely social venture, if you're not specifically addressing the social or environmental problem as your primary purpose, you could still, like sometimes, I'm giving 10% of my profits to cure breast cancer. So you're still doing something good with your company, or you have a specific way that you're not impacting the environment or you're helping the environment. So you can include that kind of thing in your application, and it's a good idea. It's a strong thing to do. So these are more specific about the judging criteria for each of those separate sections. That most innovative, so we'll be looking for something that's really new, creative, innovative, disruptive. It's doing something original that hasn't been done before. The social venture I talked about, and in social venture, it's not just important, they're doing good things but that it's sustainable. You still have to have a good business model. You need to be able to stay in business. So that's going to be part of it. It's not just that it solves a problem, but that it's a sustainable way to do it. Spirit of entrepreneurship shows people that really are passionate and care a lot about it. And you can tell typically when you watch a presentation that comes out. And then the teamwork and the work that's gone into doing the presentation. And for that particular award, we give points for coming to the workshops, because we do these workshops because the purpose of the competition is so you learn. So we want you to come to the workshops, and so to reward that, if at least one person on your team comes to workshops, then you get more points in that category at the end of the time. The most viable is something that's proven validation in the market. It's got some sales. It really looks like it's something, a business that can be executed and carried on. The most scalable would be the judges think there's a potential for it to grow, get outside investment, be a really fast growing type company. And then the highest points for any of these, with all the criteria added together, the highest points gets the first place. And so we don't require, you can be a one-person company if you would like. We don't require you to form a team, but we really recommend it. It just, in the experience that we've seen, it works out great to have at least 3 people on a team, and people from different backgrounds. It'd be great to have an engineer working with a marketing student, or an entrepreneurship student working with a computer science student, or a diverse team. And you get more ideas, and a lot of times it's a lot stronger the more diverse background you have, and disciplines and majors. Come to workshops and meet people to join a team. So at the end, anybody that wants to say, I don't have a business idea, but I'd like to join a team, and I'm a computer science major that knows how to code, everybody will be all over you, I can tell you that right now. But if you want to say like what your skills are, what you want to do, then somebody that's looking for a teammate can, or you might want to stand up and say, I want to work on this kind of business, does anybody want to join me? So we want to make it as easy as possible and encourage teams to form and recruit students from different disciplines. So you have until January 16th to form a team, so there's time, but next Tuesday in the Globe is CEO, Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization. It's an organization for students interested in entrepreneurship. So if you think, where am I going to find students who want to help me work on a business, come to the CEO meeting. It's at 5:30 somewhere here in the Globe. And that is organization is open to anybody interested in entrepreneurship. The October 10th meeting, the engineering students are going to be encouraged and invited to come to the CEO meeting for the same thing, because they want to meet students that aren't engineering, and they never even come to our campus. I mean, they're on a completely different campus, but they're over there and they know how to build things and they know how to make things because they're engineers. And so meeting them and getting together with them can be really useful to you and to them. So I encourage you to do that, form those kind of teams whenever possible. So they'll be coming to the CEO meeting on October 10th. So this is how you apply, and Kenzie's going to go into this in more detail. That's our website, and the deadline to apply October 27th. Current FSU students only. You can have other people, but at least 51% ownership and control needs to be with this for the student. And then when you sign in, if those of you that came in late, if you'll sign in the back and put your email address, because then you'll get reminders. The deadline's coming up, the workshop's coming up, and that kind of thing, so that and any announcements and updates also are posted on our website. So these are all the important dates. The first workshop, other than these information sessions, September 27th, and then all these dates are on the website also for you to keep up with. And then as you get on our mailing list, we'll send reminders about when the different stages are due and how you apply and those types of things. So this is my contact information. My cards are in the back. And feel free to come by my office. It's in the student incubator in RBB 117, or come and make an appointment, or come on in and see me. I'm going to go to the website now, and I may let Kenzie talk because I'm going to start.